What's up YouTube, Mike back here with another deck profile. I'm getting tired of saying that same intro every time, but I need to find a new one. If you guys have any ideas, leave them down in the comment section below. But this time we'll be doing Marik's deck, and Marik, I love Marik. He's probably my favorite villain of the first Yu-Gi-Oh era, I guess you can call it. He's just such an interesting character in the range he goes through, and he has a really awesome deck to complement that. But without any further ado, let's see this. Let's see what he's got going on. Play 2 Gilgarth. I think his highest 4-star monster in the deck, besides maybe one. I'll obviously see that later in the video. 1800, 1200, just a solid 4-star monster, and that's why I played 2. And his artwork's pretty cool. And then Melk the 4-face beast used in combination with Mass Beast Descardius, as we saw in the Lumis and Umber deck. And then his main engine of the deck, the Winged Dragon of Ra. The Immortal Phoenix and the Sphere mode came out in the past year. I know Immortal Phoenix is really recent. But if you're going to play Winged Dragon of Ra in this deck, I would recommend playing these two cards because they really complement off each other. If you can get Immortal Phoenix out, which I think is the strongest one, I've yet to actually use it in a duel. If you can get it out, it's almost unstoppable, but it's just Immortal Phoenix, Winged Dragon of Ra, and then Sphere mode. All are really cool cards. And then we move on to its other high-level monsters, being Mass Beast Descardius. We saw that in Umber's deck. Lava Golem, which he used against Joey, as well as Legendary Fiend and Hoboemmer. He used against Joey. But Lava Golem, it tributes 2 monsters your opponent controls, and that can help get rid of some threats you might be having. I know when he dueled Joey, he actually tributed Guilford the Lightning, which was Joey's card to kind of turn the duel around. And though it's your opponent's, during each of the controller standby phases, the controller takes 1,000 damage. So it can be good for burn damage if you have protection. And then Legendary Fiend gains 700 attack during each of your standby phases. If your opponent cannot find a way to get over this card, it's just gonna run over everything. Hoboemmer kind of destroys the deck from the inside by discarding 1 random card from your opponent's hand after it's sent to the graveyard each turn. And then Granadora, like I said before, I thought Gilgarth was his strongest 4-star monster, but this card, Granadora, actually has 1900 attack, 4-star. In the anime, I think it was called Swallowtail Spike Lizard, if I remember correctly. But its effect is pretty cool. When this card is summoned, increase your life points by 1,000, but when it's destroyed, you take 2,000 points of damage. So, a little bit of a trade-off, but it's a cool card. Same with yugioh. This was a normal card, I know for sure, in Marik's deck, and they came out with it pretty recently. I want to say like maybe a year, 6 months ago. I'm not exactly sure. But it has a cool effect where if you summon it during the battle phase, it gains quite a bit of attack points, and its artwork is pretty cool. And Lakunga, it kind of combos with his other plant type monster being Lord Poison, and though he did use these cards, and they're cool cards, I think. They're really better in a plant deck, a plant themed deck, but he uses them, so why not? I think if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target 1 plant type monster except Lord Poison and special summon that. So you can summon Lakunga from your graveyard if you have it in there. And then Lakunga, you can banish 2 water monsters from your graveyard. You special summon 1 Lakunga token, which I guess it could be used for like maybe a sacrifice, but he doesn't play that many water monsters in his deck. I think the only other water monster besides these 2 is Revival Jam. And then Makiora the Destructor, it's banned for a reason. He kind of combos it with another drop card because you can activate drop cards straight from your hand. You don't have to lay them face down first, and that's why this card is banned. And then Jolago, it can attack your opponent directly if they have no monsters less than 1600 attack. And in the anime, this card was also a normal monster, but it has a pretty good effect. And then Revival Jam, like we just said, it's a water monster, and you guys probably know what Revival Jam's about. I think its effect is in the name. And then Marik actually has some pretty underrated cards, I think. 2 of them being Dark Gearoid and Euphoria. Dark Gearoid, when it's summoned, one monster loses 800 attack points, so it can be used to get over some stuff. And then Euphoria, when it's sent to the graveyard by battle, you can destroy a monster. And then two really new monsters that he used. I think Holding Legs and Holding Arms. A lot of people played Visor Dez and Visor Shock in their Marik deck to substitute with these cards. But these cards are just so much better, and they recently came out with them. Holding Legs, I think, targets spell cards, while Holding Arms targets monster cards, and I think their effects are like negated or something. But I definitely recommend playing these cards in a Marik deck. And then his last monster being Boganian, take away 600 damage to each turn from your opponent. And then this smaller spell lineup, he only has 8 spells, but they're all pretty good. Remove Trap, effect is in the name, don't need to explain it. Pot of Greed and Monster Reborn, standard. Left Arm Offering. He used this to add 1 spell card from his deck to his hand by banishing his entire hand. It's kind of you basically go negative on a lot of cards, but if it's really worth grabbing that Monster Born to get back Winged Dragon of Ra, which is what he used in the anime, then by all means go for it. But he played it, and I like the card, so why not? And another way he used another card he used to get Monster Reborn back from the graveyard. Magical Stone Activation, discard 2 cards and target 1 spell card, add it to your hand. Spell of Pain, being effect damage would be inflicted to you. Your opponent takes that damage instead. Black Pendant, used to just gain attack points, and then Premature Burial, Monster Reborn kind of stuff. And then his larger trap lineup, Malevolent Catastrophe, sort of like a Heavy Storm, but trap version. Hidden Soldier special summons 1 level 4 Lord Dark monster from your hand when your opponent summons one. And he plays a lot of dark monsters in this deck for sure, so good card. Relieve Monster, also kind of the same thing. It special summons 1 level 4 monster from your hand if you return 1 monster you control to your hand. Double Mirror Force, he actually plays this card in his deck, so it's actually justified here, but play 2 of them. Rope of Life, when a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, discard your hand, and then target one of those monsters special summon it. So he used this card in combination with Makura the Destructor, because Makura the Destructor was destroyed by battle. He was able to play a trap card directly from his hand, and this was the one he played. So, and that brought him back 2,400 attack points. Jam Defender, used in combination with Revival Jam. Metal Reflect Slime, he uses this in a weird way against Yugi. It's a trap monster, and it has 3,000 defense. Best used for stalling, but in the anime, he combined it with like Revival Jam, and made this huge unstoppable clone of Obelisk the Tormentor when he played Yugi. I actually thought that was pretty cool, but not as good in this format as he made it seem, but still 3,000 defense. It's a good card. And then Nightmare Wheel takes 1 monster, I guess, out of play and inflicts 500 damage to your opponent each turn. And then Coffin Seller, great when combined with Hellblower, since each time a monster is sent from your opponent, it's sent to your opponent's graveyard and inflict 300 damage. And since Hellblower removes a random card from your hand each turn, from your opponent's hand each turn, and it happens to be a monster card, that's 300 damage. And it worked a lot better when they played 4,000 life points. It's going to take a little longer with 8,000. And then his side deck is all spell cards that he played but aren't as good. Bait Doll, Ask of Remnant, Card of Sanctity, which is the biggest letdown in the history of the game, because its anime effect is so cool, but its effect right here is so bad. And then Tribute Burial, probably being the best. Helps get out tributed monsters easier. Jam Breeding Machine kind of locks you up if you're not careful, so I don't really love to play in this deck. And then Vengeful Bog Spirit, monsters cannot attack during their summon, which can end up hurting you more than your opponent. So anyway, that was my Marik deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoy this deck. Hope you guys do too. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace out.